Have you ever walked into a room and felt, with absolute certainty, that you've experienced that exact moment before? Not similar moments, but that precise instant, the way the light falls across the floor, the particular arrangement of objects, the feeling in the air, as if time itself had folded back on itself, creating an impossible echo. This is deja vu, one of the most intriguing mysteries that bridges the gap between neuroscience, psychology, and the very nature of consciousness itself. Tonight, we'll journey through the intricate pathways of your brain to understand how memory, time, and perception can create these ghostly moments of recognition that feel both familiar and impossible. Hi, I'm Luna, and if you love falling asleep to curious science, quiet wonder, and starry night stories, you're in the right place. So grab your coziest blanket, get comfy, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe because tonight, we're exploring one of the most fascinating phenomena your mind can experience. That strange, almost mystical moment when your brain whispers that this has all happened before, even when you know it hasn't. Imagine your consciousness as a vast library, with countless corridors lined with the books of your memories. Usually, the librarian of your mind works with perfect precision, filing each new experience in its proper place, cross-referencing it with related memories, and maintaining the orderly flow of time from past to present. But occasionally, something extraordinary happens. A new experience gets momentarily misfiled, placed for just an instant in the section reserved for familiar memories. In that brief moment of confusion, your conscious mind encounters something that feels like remembering, but the timestamp is all wrong. This is the essence of deja vu, not supernatural prophecy, but a beautiful glitch in the sophisticated machinery of human memory. The term deja vu comes from French, meaning literally already seen. But this translation barely captures the richness of the experience. When deja vu occurs, it's not simply that something looks familiar. It's the uncanny sensation that you've lived through this exact sequence of events before, often accompanied by a strange feeling that you might even know what will happen next, though that knowledge remains frustratingly just out of reach, like trying to remember a dream upon waking. Most people estimates suggest between 60 and 90% of us have experienced deja vu at least once. It tends to occur most frequently during our teens and 20s, then gradually becomes less common as we age. This pattern itself provides clues about the underlying mechanisms. Young brains are still developing, with neural pathways forming new connections at a remarkable rate. The very plasticity that makes young minds so adaptable to learning may also make them more susceptible to the temporary misfiring that creates deja vu. The experience typically lasts only seconds, but those seconds can feel like a window into something profound. Time seems to stutter. Reality feels layered, as if you're experiencing two versions of the present moment simultaneously, one where you're encountering something new, and another where you're revisiting something from your past. It's a sensation that has puzzled humans for centuries, inspiring everything from spiritual interpretations to scientific investigation. To understand deja vu, we need to first understand how memory works in the brain, because deja vu is ultimately a story about memory, specifically about what happens when the normal processes of memory formation and recognition encounter an unexpected glitch. Your brain doesn't store memories like a computer stores files. Instead, memories are reconstructed each time you recall them, built from fragments stored across different regions of your brain. When you remember your childhood bedroom, for instance, the visual details might be stored in your visual cortex, the emotional associations in your limbic system, and the spatial layout in your hippocampus. Each time you recall that room, your brain weaves these scattered fragments back together, creating the subjective experience of remembering. This reconstruction process is remarkable, but it's also vulnerable to errors. Sometimes the brain's memory systems can misfire, creating experiences that feel like remembering, but don't correspond to actual past events. Deja vu appears to be one such misfire, a moment when the brain's recognition systems activate inappropriately, creating the compelling sensation of familiarity where none should exist. The hippocampus plays a central role in this process. Nestled deep within the temporal lobe, this seahorse-shaped structure is crucial for forming new memories and distinguishing between familiar and unfamiliar experiences. When you encounter something new, your hippocampus compares it against stored memories, determining whether it's novel or familiar. Usually, this process works seamlessly, but research suggests that déjà vu might occur when there's a temporary disconnect between different regions of the hippocampus, causing new experiences to be briefly tagged as familiar. Dr. Akira O'Connor at the University of St. Andrews has conducted fascinating research into déjà vu using brain imaging technology. His work suggests that déjà vu involves activity in regions of the brain responsible for decision-making and memory monitoring, particularly areas in the frontal cortex. Rather than being a simple memory error, déjà vu might actually represent your brain's quality control system in action, a mechanism that detects when something feels familiar but shouldn't, then signals that this familiarity is probably incorrect. This perspective reframes déjà vu from a glitch to a feature, evidence of your brain's sophisticated ability to monitor the accuracy of its own memory processes. When you experience déjà vu, you typically know that the feeling of familiarity is false, even while you're experiencing it. This suggests that your brain is successfully identifying and flagging the error, even if it can't immediately correct it. The temporal lobe epilepsy connection has provided another crucial window into understanding déjà vu. People with epilepsy that affects the temporal lobe often experience intense, prolonged déjà vu as part of their seizures. These episodes can last minutes rather than seconds and are often much more vivid than typical déjà vu. By studying these patients, researchers have identified specific brain regions and neural circuits involved in the déjà vu experience. During temporal lobe seizures, abnormal electrical activity spreads through brain regions involved in memory processing. The hippocampus and surrounding medial temporal lobe structures become hyperactive, potentially explaining why familiar feelings become so intense and persistent during these episodes. Some patients describe not just feeling that they've experienced something before, but knowing with absolute certainty that they can predict what will happen next, though these predictions typically prove incorrect. This research has revealed that déjà vu involves a complex network of brain regions working in concert. The hippocampus evaluates familiarity, the rhinal cortex processes recognition, and the prefrontal cortex monitors the plausibility of these memory signals. When this network functions normally, you can distinguish between genuine memories and false feelings of familiarity. But when electrical activity becomes abnormal, as in epilepsy, or when there are brief miscommunications between these regions, as might occur in typical déjà vu, the system can produce compelling illusions of recognition. The dual pathway theory offers another compelling explanation for déjà vu. According to this model, your brain processes visual information through two parallel pathways, one fast and one slow. The fast pathway gives you an immediate, rough impression of what you're seeing, while the slower pathway provides detailed analysis. Usually, these pathways work in harmony, with the fast pathway preparing you for what the slow pathway will confirm in more detail. But imagine if there were a slight delay in one of these pathways, perhaps due to fatigue, stress, or just random neural variability. The slow pathway might deliver its information a fraction of a second after the fast pathway, creating a situation where your brain receives the same visual information twice, at slightly different times. The second arrival might be interpreted as a memory of having seen this before, even though the before was actually just milliseconds earlier. This theory is elegant in its simplicity and could explain why déjà vu often occurs when we're tired or stressed, conditions that might make neural timing less precise. It also explains why déjà vu is typically visual. Our visual processing system is complex enough to be vulnerable to these kinds of timing errors, but sophisticated enough that small delays can be interpreted as meaningful signals rather than random noise. Environmental factors seem to play a role in triggering déjà vu as well. Many people report that déjà vu is more likely to occur in new places or during travel. This makes sense from a neurological perspective. When you're in familiar environments, your brain can rely on well-established neural pathways and memory associations. But in new places, your brain must work harder to process and categorize what you're experiencing, perhaps making it more likely that memory processing errors will occur. The lighting, acoustics, and even the smell of a place can contribute to déjà vu. Your brain integrates sensory information from all your senses to create your experience of a moment. If one element of a new environment strongly resembles something from your past, perhaps the way shadows fall in a room reminds your brain of a childhood home. This partial familiarity might trigger the broader sensation that the entire experience is familiar. Stress and fatigue also appear to increase the likelihood of déjà vu. When your brain is operating under stress, or when you're tired, neural processing becomes less efficient. The careful coordination required for accurate memory formation and retrieval can become disrupted, making memory errors more likely. This might explain why déjà vu often occurs during periods of transition or change in our lives, times when we're more likely to be stressed and encountering new situations. Sleep deprivation specifically seems to increase déjà vu frequency. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories, strengthening important connections and pruning unnecessary ones. When you don't get enough sleep, this maintenance process becomes less effective, potentially leaving your memory systems more vulnerable to the kinds of errors that produce déjà vu. The age-related decline in déjà vu frequency might also relate to how neural plasticity changes over time. Young brains are constantly forming new connections and pathways. This plasticity is wonderful for learning, but it also means that neural circuits are less stable and more prone to temporary misfiring. As we age, our neural pathways become more established and stable, reducing the likelihood of the kinds of timing errors or pathway confusions that might trigger déjà vu. Interestingly, people who travel frequently or regularly encounter new experiences report more déjà vu than those who maintain more routine lifestyles. This suggests that novelty itself might be a risk factor, or perhaps more accurately, that the contrast between new experiences and stored memories creates conditions where recognition errors are more likely to occur. The relationship between déjà vu and creativity has also drawn scientific attention. Some researchers have noted that creative individuals, particularly writers and artists, report experiencing déjà vu more frequently than average. This correlation might reflect differences in how creative brains process and integrate information. Or it might simply be that creative people are more likely to notice and remember unusual mental phenomena. There's also a fascinating connection between déjà vu and what researchers call jamais vu, the opposite phenomenon where familiar things suddenly feel strange and unfamiliar. If you've ever looked at a common word and suddenly felt like you'd never seen it before, despite knowing what it means, you've experienced jamais vu. These complementary phenomena suggest that our sense of familiarity is more fragile and malleable than we typically realize. The study of jamais vu has revealed that familiarity is an active process, not just a passive recognition. Your brain doesn't simply match current experiences against stored memories. It actively constructs your sense of whether something is familiar or novel. This construction process can be disrupted in both directions, creating false familiarity, déjà vu, or false unfamiliarity, jamais vu. Laboratory studies have managed to induce jamais vu experimentally by having people repeatedly write the same word over and over. Eventually, the word begins to feel strange and meaningless, even though the person knows perfectly well what it means. This demonstrates that familiarity isn't a fixed property, but rather an ongoing neural computation that can be disrupted by repetition, attention, or other factors. These findings support the idea that déjà vu represents a disruption in the normal computation of familiarity, rather than a genuine memory retrieval. Your brain's familiarity detection system incorrectly signals that something is familiar, but your memory monitoring systems recognize that this familiarity doesn't correspond to any actual memory, creating the characteristic paradoxical feeling of déjà vu. The phenomenology of déjà vu, the subjective experience itself, is remarkably consistent across cultures and individuals. People describe a sudden onset of recognition, often accompanied by a strange feeling that they might know what will happen next, though this knowledge remains elusive. The experience is typically brief, lasting only seconds, and is followed by a gradual fading of the familiar feeling, often leaving behind a sense of wonder or confusion. Many people report that trying to focus on the déjà vu experience makes it disappear more quickly, similar to how trying to remember a dream upon waking often causes it to slip away. This might reflect the role of attention in memory processing. The act of consciously examining the experience might engage higher-level cognitive processes that override the automatic familiarity detection systems responsible for déjà vu. The emotional component of déjà vu is also noteworthy. The experience is often described as slightly unsettling or eerie, but rarely frightening. There's typically a sense of mystery or wonder, as if you've momentarily glimpsed something beyond normal experience. This emotional response might be important for understanding the phenomenon. The slight unease you feel during déjà vu might reflect your brain's awareness that something unusual is happening, that the normal relationship between familiarity and memory has been temporarily disrupted. From an evolutionary perspective, this emotional response makes sense. A system that monitors the accuracy of memory and recognition would benefit from drawing your attention to potential errors. The slightly unsettling feeling of déjà vu might be your brain's way of saying, "Pay attention. Something unusual is happening with your memory systems." The social and cultural aspects of déjà vu are equally fascinating. Despite being a universal human experience, different cultures have developed different explanations and interpretations for the phenomenon. Some spiritual traditions view déjà vu as evidence of past lives or prophetic abilities. Others see it as a glimpse into parallel realities or the nature of time itself. These cultural interpretations, while not scientifically accurate, reflect something important about the human experience of déjà vu. The phenomenon is strange enough and compelling enough that it demands explanation. Before we understood the neurological mechanisms involved, people naturally developed theories that tried to make sense of this mysterious aspect of consciousness. The scientific understanding of déjà vu doesn't diminish its wonder. If anything, it enhances it. The fact that your brain contains systems sophisticated enough to monitor their own accuracy, and that these systems can occasionally create the illusion of impossible memory, reveals just how complex and remarkable human consciousness truly is. Modern neurotechnology has opened new windows into studying déjà vu. Functional MRI studies can now observe brain activity in real time as people experience various memory phenomena. While it's difficult to study spontaneous déjà vu in the laboratory, the experience is too unpredictable and brief. Researchers have developed techniques to create déjà vu-like experiences under controlled conditions. One approach involves showing people images that are similar to, but not identical to, images they've seen before. When the similarity is just right, people report feeling that they've seen the new image before, even though they know they haven't. Brain imaging during these experiences reveals activity patterns similar to those observed in temporal lobe epilepsy patients during déjà vu episodes. These studies consistently show activation in the hippocampus and surrounding medial temporal lobe structures, confirming the central role of these regions in déjà vu. But they also reveal activity in prefrontal regions involved in decision-making and error monitoring, supporting the theory that déjà vu involves your brain detecting and responding to a memory error, rather than simply experiencing one. The development of more sophisticated brain monitoring techniques continues to reveal new details about déjà vu. Recent studies using high-resolution brain imaging have identified specific neural circuits that seem to be involved in the experience. These circuits connect memory processing regions in the temporal lobe with decision-making and attention systems in the prefrontal cortex, creating a network that can evaluate the accuracy of memory-based recognition. Pharmacological studies have also provided insights into déjà vu. Certain medications that affect neurotransmitter systems in the brain can influence the frequency of déjà vu. For example, some anti-epileptic drugs that reduce abnormal electrical activity in the temporal lobe also reduce déjà vu frequency in people who experience it regularly. This provides further evidence for the electrical basis of the phenomenon. Conversely, some stimulants and psychoactive substances can increase déjà vu frequency, possibly by altering the timing of neural processes or changing the balance of activity between different brain regions. These pharmacological effects support theories about déjà vu involving neural timing or coordination. As substances that affect neural communication would be expected to influence these processes, the relationship between déjà vu and other memory phenomena continues to be an active area of research. False memory research has revealed that human memory is far more malleable than previously thought. We can develop vivid, detailed memories of events that never actually happened, complete with sensory details and emotional associations. This malleability of memory provides context for understanding how déjà vu might occur. If memory systems can create entirely false memories, it's not surprising that they might occasionally create false feelings of familiarity. Source monitoring, your brain's ability to determine where a memory came from, is another relevant process. When you remember something, your brain doesn't just retrieve the content of the memory. It also tries to determine when and where you learned or experienced it. Errors in source monitoring might contribute to déjà vu by making it difficult for your brain to determine whether a feeling of familiarity corresponds to a genuine past experience or some other source. The relationship between attention and déjà vu is particularly intriguing. Many people report that déjà vu is more likely to occur when they're not paying full attention to their surroundings, perhaps when daydreaming or in a relaxed, unfocused state. This suggests that normal attentional processes might help prevent déjà vu by ensuring that memory systems receive clear, unambiguous information about current experiences. When attention is divided or reduced, the information reaching memory systems might be degraded or incomplete, potentially making it more likely that memory errors will occur. This could explain why déjà vu seems more common during routine activities or in situations where you're not fully engaged with your environment. The temporal dynamics of déjà vu, how the experience unfolds over time, also provide clues about underlying mechanisms. The sudden onset suggests that déjà vu involves a rapid change in neural activity, perhaps a brief synchronization between brain regions that are normally less coordinated. The gradual fading might reflect the brain's error correction systems gradually overriding the false familiarity signal. Individual differences in déjà vu experience have also drawn scientific attention. While most people experience déjà vu occasionally, some people report it frequently, while others claim never to have experienced it at all. These differences might reflect variations in brain structure or function, particularly in regions involved in memory processing and error monitoring. Genetic factors might play a role as well. Twin studies suggest that there might be a hereditary component to déjà vu frequency, though environmental factors clearly also contribute. The genetic influences might affect the development or functioning of neural circuits involved in memory processing, making some people more prone to the kinds of neural events that trigger déjà vu. Personality traits also seem to correlate with déjà vu frequency. People who score higher on measures of openness to experience, creativity, and absorption, the tendency to become fully immersed in activities or experiences, report more frequent déjà vu. These correlations might reflect differences in how different personality types process and integrate information, or simply differences in how likely people are to notice and remember unusual mental phenomena. The relationship between déjà vu and stress deserves deeper exploration. While acute stress seems to increase déjà vu frequency, chronic stress might have different effects. Long-term stress can impair memory function and neural plasticity, potentially reducing the likelihood of the kinds of dynamic neural events that create déjà vu. This might explain why déjà vu becomes less common with age, not just because of reduced neural plasticity, but also because of accumulated effects of stress on brain function. Sleep and circadian rhythms also influence déjà vu. Many people report that déjà vu is more common at certain times of day, often in the late afternoon or evening when fatigue begins to set in. This timing suggests that déjà vu might be more likely when neural systems are operating at less than optimal efficiency. Perhaps when the careful coordination required for accurate memory processing becomes more difficult to maintain. The relationship between déjà vu and dreams is another fascinating area of investigation. Some researchers have noted similarities between the phenomenology of déjà vu and certain types of dreams, particularly those involving feelings of familiarity or recognition. Both experiences involve complex interactions between memory, emotion, and consciousness, and both can create compelling subjective experiences that don't necessarily correspond to external reality. REM sleep, when most vivid dreaming occurs, is crucial for memory consolidation. During REM sleep, your brain replays experiences from the day, strengthening important memories and integrating them with existing knowledge. Disruptions in REM sleep or the memory consolidation process might contribute to déjà vu by leaving memory systems in a less stable state, more prone to the kinds of errors that create false familiarity. The study of déjà vu has implications beyond understanding the phenomenon itself. because deja vu provides a window into memory processing and error monitoring. Research in this area contributes to our broader understanding of how the brain constructs subjective experience. The fact that your brain can create such compelling illusions of recognition reveals important truths about the nature of consciousness and perception. Memory, it turns out, is not a passive recording system, but an active, constructive process. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds that memory from stored fragments, and this reconstruction process is vulnerable to various forms of error and distortion. Deja vu represents one particularly striking example of these constructive processes gone slightly awry. This understanding has practical implications for fields like eyewitness testimony, where the accuracy of memory can have profound consequences. If memory systems can create compelling illusions of familiarity where none should exist, they can certainly distort or embellish genuine memories in subtle ways. Research on deja vu and related phenomena helps us understand the limitations and vulnerabilities of human memory, leading to better practices in legal, educational, and therapeutic contexts. The philosophical implications of deja vu are equally profound. The experience challenges our intuitive understanding of time, memory, and identity. If your brain can convince you that you've experienced something before when you haven't, what does this say about the reliability of memory as a foundation for personal identity? How do we distinguish between genuine memories and false ones if our subjective experience can be so compelling in both cases? These questions don't have simple answers, but deja vu helps us appreciate the complexity of consciousness and the remarkable achievements of the human brain. Your ability to experience deja vu is actually evidence of highly sophisticated neural systems, systems capable of monitoring their own accuracy and alerting you when something unusual is happening with your memory processing. The research techniques used to study deja vu continue to evolve. New brain imaging technologies provide increasingly detailed views of neural activity, while computational models help researchers understand how complex networks of brain regions might interact to produce phenomena like deja vu. Virtual reality environments allow researchers to create controlled conditions that might trigger deja vu-like experiences, while advances in genetics help identify biological factors that influence individual differences in experience. One particularly promising avenue involves studying deja vu in the context of broader research on consciousness and subjective experience. Deja vu represents a rare example of a purely subjective phenomenon, something that exists only in the realm of personal experience, that can nonetheless be studied scientifically. Understanding how the brain creates the subjective experience of deja vu might provide insights into how it creates other aspects of consciousness as well. The clinical applications of deja vu research are also expanding. For people with epilepsy who experience frequent, intense deja vu, understanding the phenomenon can help with treatment planning and seizure management. More broadly, research on deja vu and related memory phenomena contributes to our understanding of various neurological and psychiatric conditions that involve memory disturbances. As we learn more about the neural mechanisms underlying deja vu, new therapeutic possibilities may emerge. If we can understand what causes the neural timing errors or pathway disruptions that create deja vu, we might be able to develop interventions for people who experience it so frequently that it becomes distressing or disruptive to their daily lives. The cross-cultural study of deja vu continues to reveal interesting patterns. While the basic experience seems universal, different cultures have developed different frameworks for understanding and interpreting it. Some cultures view déjà vu as spiritually significant, while others treat it as simply curious, but meaningless. These cultural differences in interpretation might influence how people experience and remember déjà vu, creating interesting interactions between neurobiological phenomena and cultural context. Language also plays a role in how people conceptualize and describe déjà vu. The French term déjà vu has been adopted internationally, but other languages have their own terms that capture slightly different aspects of the experience. Some languages distinguish between different types of recognition, experiences that English speakers might all classify as déjà vu, suggesting that language and culture might influence how these phenomena are categorized and understood. The relationship between déjà vu and other altered states of consciousness continues to be explored. Meditation practitioners sometimes report experiences similar to déjà vu, where familiar mental states or perceptions feel strange and uncertain. These experiences might reflect changes in the neural networks responsible for familiarity detection and error monitoring that occur during deep meditative states. Similarly, certain psychoactive substances can produce déjà vu-like experiences, possibly by altering the timing or coordination of neural processes involved in memory and recognition. Studying these pharmacologically induced experiences provides another window into understanding the neural mechanisms underlying spontaneous déjà vu. The development of artificial intelligence and machine learning systems has also contributed to déjà vu research in unexpected ways. As computer scientists work to create systems that can recognize patterns and form memories, they encounter similar challenges to those faced by biological memory systems. Understanding how artificial systems might develop false recognition or familiarity errors provides insights into how similar errors might occur in biological systems. Conversely, research on déjà vu and human memory errors informs the development of more robust artificial intelligence systems. By understanding the vulnerabilities and limitations of biological memory systems, engineers can design artificial systems that are less prone to similar errors, or that handle such errors more gracefully when they do occur. The study of déjà vu also connects to broader research on time perception and temporal cognition. Your brain's ability to order events in time and distinguish between past, present, and future depends on sophisticated neural mechanisms. Déjà vu represents a temporary disruption in these mechanisms, where the present moment is momentarily misclassified as belonging to the past. This temporal confusion might reflect the fundamental challenges faced by any system trying to process information in real time while maintaining accurate records of past events. The fact that biological systems can accomplish this task with such remarkable accuracy most of the time makes the occasional occurrence of déjà vu even more fascinating as a window into these temporal processing mechanisms. The relationship between déjà vu and memory consolidation continues to be an active area of research. Memory consolidation, the process by which short-term memories are transformed into stable long-term memories, involves complex interactions between the hippocampus and other brain regions. Disruptions in this process might contribute to déjà vu by creating situations where new experiences are temporarily treated as if they were already consolidated memories. Sleep's role in memory consolidation might help explain why sleep deprivation increases déjà vu frequency. When you don't get adequate sleep, the consolidation process becomes less efficient, potentially leaving your memory systems in a less stable state. This instability might make it more likely that new experiences will be misclassified as familiar, creating the conditions for déjà vu. The bidirectional relationship between emotion and memory also influences déjà vu. Emotional states can affect memory formation and retrieval, while memory experiences can influence emotional states. The slightly unsettling feeling that often accompanies déjà vu might both reflect and contribute to the memory error that creates the experience. Positive emotions generally enhance memory formation and retrieval, while negative emotions can have more complex effects depending on their intensity and the specific context. The emotional tone of déjà vu, typically curious or mildly unsettling, rather than intensely positive or negative, might be optimal for creating the kind of memory confusion that produces the experience. The social aspects of déjà vu deserve consideration as well. While déjà vu is fundamentally a personal, subjective experience, people often want to share and discuss it with others. The universality of the experience creates a kind of shared reference point, even though each person's individual episodes of déjà vu are unique to them. This social dimension might influence how déjà vu is experienced and remembered. The knowledge that others have similar experiences might affect how people interpret their own déjà vu, while cultural narratives about the phenomenon might shape expectations and memory of the experience. The therapeutic implications of déjà vu research extend beyond treating frequent or distressing episodes. Understanding how memory systems can create compelling illusions has applications for various forms of therapy that work with memory and subjective experience. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, often involves helping people recognize and modify inaccurate thoughts and perceptions, a process that can benefit from understanding how the brain constructs subjective experience. The study of déjà vu also contributes to our understanding of metacognition, thinking about thinking. The ability to recognize that a feeling of familiarity might be false requires sophisticated self-monitoring capabilities. Research on déjà vu helps illuminate these metacognitive processes and how they can sometimes fail or be overwhelmed by compelling subjective experiences. Educational applications are emerging as well, understanding how memory errors occur and how they can create compelling but false experiences has implications for teaching and learning. Students need to develop not just knowledge and skills, but also the ability to monitor and evaluate their own understanding, recognizing when they might be confused or mistaken. The relationship between déjà vu and cognitive aging continues to be explored. While déjà vu generally becomes less frequent with age, the underlying changes in brain structure and function that drive this pattern might also affect other aspects of memory and cognition. Understanding these relationships could provide insights into healthy cognitive aging and age-related memory changes. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections throughout life, likely plays a role in age-related changes in déjà vu frequency. Young brains with high plasticity might be more prone to the kinds of temporary neural reorganizations that create déjà vu, while older brains with more stable neural architecture might be less susceptible to these experiences. The role of attention and consciousness in déjà vu continues to generate research interest. The experience typically occurs when people are conscious and aware, but not necessarily when they're paying intense attention to their surroundings. This suggests complex interactions between different levels of awareness and attention that might create conditions favorable for déjà vu. Divided attention, in particular, seems to increase déjà vu likelihood. When your attention is split between multiple tasks, or when you're not fully engaged with your immediate environment, memory processing might become less precise, creating opportunities for the kinds of errors that produce déjà vu. The predictive processing framework offers another lens for understanding déjà vu. According to this view, your brain is constantly generating predictions about what you're likely to experience next, based on past experience and current context. These predictions are then compared with actual sensory input, and discrepancies drive learning and adaptation. Déjà vu might occur when there's a mismatch between predicted and actual experience that gets resolved in an unusual way. Instead of updating predictions based on new input, the system might briefly interpret the new input as confirming an inappropriate prediction, creating the sensation that you've experienced this before. This predictive processing perspective connects déjà vu to broader theories about how the brain constructs experience and navigates uncertainty. Rather than passively receiving and recording information, your brain actively constructs your experience of reality through complex processes of prediction, comparison, and error correction. The study of déjà vu in different populations continues to reveal interesting patterns. Artists, writers, and other creative professionals often report higher rates of déjà vu, possibly reflecting differences in how creative brains process and integrate information. People with certain personality traits, particularly those related to openness and absorption, also seem more prone to the experience. These individual differences suggest that déjà vu might be related to broader patterns of cognitive and neural functioning. Understanding these relationships could provide insights not just into déjà vu itself, but into the neural bases of creativity, personality, and individual differences in consciousness. The technological tools available for studying déjà vu continue to advance. High-resolution brain imaging can now observe neural activity at increasingly fine spatial and temporal scales, while new analysis techniques can identify subtle patterns in brain networks that weren't previously detectable. These advances are revealing new details about the neural mechanisms underlying déjà vu and related phenomena. Virtual and augmented reality technologies also offer new possibilities for déjà vu research. These systems can create controlled environments where specific aspects of experience can be manipulated, while others remain constant, potentially allowing researchers to trigger déjà vu under laboratory conditions, or to study how different environmental factors contribute to the experience. The computational modeling of déjà vu is another growing area. By creating computer simulations of memory and recognition systems, researchers can test theories about how déjà vu might occur and explore the conditions that make it more or less likely. These models can also suggest new experiments and help interpret the results of brain imaging studies. As our understanding of déjà vu continues to evolve, the phenomenon serves as a fascinating window into the nature of consciousness, memory, and subjective experience. It reminds us that our sense of familiarity and recognition, which usually feel so reliable and automatic, actually depend on complex neural computations that can sometimes produce remarkable errors. These errors, rather than being simple failures, reveal the sophistication of the systems involved. The fact that you can recognize when familiarity feels false, even while experiencing it, demonstrates the existence of higher-order monitoring systems that evaluate the accuracy of your own mental processes. This metacognitive ability, thinking about your own thinking, is one of the remarkable features of human consciousness. The wonder of déjà vu lies not just in the strange experience itself, but in what it reveals about the extraordinary complexity of your mind. Every moment of normal experience represents the successful coordination of countless neural processes, from sensory processing to memory retrieval to conscious awareness. Deja vu offers a glimpse into this usually invisible machinery of consciousness, showing us how the brain constructs the continuous narrative of subjective experience. In considering deja vu, we're reminded that consciousness itself is far more dynamic and constructed than it typically feels. Your sense of a continuous, unified self moving through time depends on the brain's remarkable ability to weave together disparate neural processes into a coherent experience. The occasional glitch that produces deja vu actually highlights how well this system usually works and how much we typically take for granted about the reliability of our own minds. The mystery of deja vu also speaks to something fundamental about human nature, our drive to understand our own experience. The phenomenon has captivated people across cultures and throughout history precisely because it feels so significant, so laden with meaning that demands explanation. Even as neuroscience provides increasingly sophisticated accounts of the mechanisms involved, the experience retains its sense of wonder. This preservation of mystery within understanding is perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of scientific exploration. Learning that deja vu results from neural timing errors or memory processing glitches doesn't diminish the experience, it enriches it. You now know that when you experience deja vu, you're witnessing the remarkable complexity of your own consciousness in action, observing the intricate dance of neural networks that usually operate beneath the threshold of awareness. The research trajectory of deja vu studies reflects broader trends in neuroscience and consciousness research. Early investigations focused on simply documenting and categorizing the phenomenon, trying to understand its basic characteristics and frequency. As technology advanced, researchers could begin to peer into the living brain, observing the neural correlates of deja vu and related experiences. Now, cutting-edge research is beginning to manipulate these neural systems directly, using techniques like transcranial magnetic stimulation to temporarily alter brain activity in regions associated with deja vu. These studies are revealing not just what happens during deja vu, but how the experience can be influenced or prevented through targeted interventions. Future research directions in deja vu studies are likely to become increasingly sophisticated. Advanced brain imaging techniques will provide ever more detailed views of neural activity during these brief experiences. Genetic studies may identify specific genes that influence susceptibility to deja vu, while pharmaceutical research might lead to treatments for people who experience it problematically. The development of brain-computer interfaces and neural implants also opens new possibilities for studying and understanding deja vu. These technologies could potentially allow researchers to monitor deja vu experiences with unprecedented precision, or even to induce specific types of memory experiences in controlled settings. Artificial intelligence research continues to inform our understanding of deja vu as well. As AI systems become more sophisticated at processing and recognizing patterns, they occasionally develop their own versions of recognition errors. Studying these artificial deja vu experiences provides insights into the fundamental challenges faced by any system that must distinguish between familiar and novel experiences. The philosophical implications of deja vu research extend far beyond the phenomenon itself. Understanding how the brain can create compelling illusions of recognition raises profound questions about the nature of memory, consciousness, and reality itself. If your subjective experience can be so convincing even when it's based on neural errors, what does this tell us about the reliability of consciousness as a guide to truth? These questions don't undermine the value of subjective experience, but they do suggest that consciousness is even more remarkable than we typically realize. The fact that your brain can create such rich, compelling experiences, even erroneous ones, speaks to the extraordinary sophistication of neural information processing. The intersection of déjà vu research with studies of meditation and altered states of consciousness continues to yield interesting findings. Long-term meditation practitioners sometimes report changes in their relationship to memory and familiarity, including alterations in how they experience phenomena like déjà vu. These changes might reflect the effects of meditation on neural networks involved in memory processing and self-monitoring. Psychedelic research, experiencing a renaissance in recent years, also provides relevant insights. Substances like psilocybin and LSD can produce profound alterations in consciousness, including changes in memory processing and temporal perception that bear some similarity to déjà vu. Studying these pharmacologically induced changes helps researchers understand the neural systems involved in normal and altered states of consciousness. The relationship between déjà vu and other temporal illusions is another rich area of investigation. Researchers have identified various ways that time perception can be distorted, from the slow motion effect, sometimes reported during emergencies, to the time dilation that can occur during intense experiences. Understanding these related phenomena helps illuminate the neural mechanisms responsible for temporal cognition more broadly. Memory researchers have also identified other fascinating recognition phenomena beyond déjà vu. Jamais vu, as mentioned earlier, involves feeling that familiar things are strange and unfamiliar. Deja entendu involves feeling that you've heard something before, while deja pensé involves the sensation that you've thought a particular thought before. Each of these phenomena provides unique insights into different aspects of memory and recognition processing. The study of false memories more generally has revealed just how malleable and reconstructive human memory really is. Under certain conditions, people can develop detailed, emotionally compelling memories of events that never actually occurred. This research context helps explain why déjà vu feels so real and meaningful despite being based on neural errors. Source memory, your ability to remember where and when you learned something, is particularly relevant to understanding déjà vu. When source memory fails, you might remember information without remembering how you acquired it, potentially leading to false feelings of familiarity. Déjà vu might involve a similar process, where familiarity signals become disconnected from their appropriate temporal context. The development of memory across the lifespan also influences déjà vu patterns. Children's memory systems are still developing, which might explain why déjà vu is relatively uncommon in very young children, despite their high neural plasticity. As memory systems mature during adolescence and young adulthood, the conditions for déjà vu become more favorable, leading to peak frequency during these years. The decline of déjà vu with age might reflect not just changes in neural plasticity, but also changes in lifestyle and experience. Older adults often maintain more routine lifestyles and encounter fewer novel situations, reducing opportunities for the kinds of recognition errors that might trigger déjà vu. Cultural and historical perspectives on déjà vu continue to provide valuable context for understanding the phenomenon. Ancient Greek philosophers wrote about experiences that sound similar to modern descriptions of déjà vu, suggesting that the basic phenomenon has been part of human experience throughout recorded history. However, the specific ways people interpret and understand these experiences have varied considerably across cultures and time periods. The medicalization of déjà vu, viewing it primarily through a scientific and medical lens, is a relatively recent development. For most of human history, such experiences were understood through religious, spiritual, or philosophical frameworks rather than neurological ones. These alternative frameworks, while not scientifically accurate, often captured important aspects of the subjective experience that pure neuroscience sometimes overlooks. The relationship between déjà vu and creativity continues to fascinate researchers. Some artists and writers report that déjà vu experiences inspire their creative work, providing material for stories, paintings, or musical compositions. The phenomenon seems to tap into something deep in human psychology that resonates with creative expression and artistic exploration. This connection between déjà vu and creativity might reflect shared underlying neural mechanisms. Both experiences involve novel combinations of familiar elements. Creativity combines existing knowledge in new ways, while déjà vu involves familiar feelings applied to novel situations. The neural flexibility required for creative thinking might also predispose some people to experience déjà vu more frequently. The social psychology of déjà vu is another emerging area of study. How do people talk about and share their déjà vu experiences? What social functions, if any, do these discussions serve? The universal nature of the phenomenon creates opportunities for social bonding and shared understanding, even though each person's individual experiences remain fundamentally private and subjective. Research has also examined whether déjà vu experiences can be influenced by suggestion or expectation. If you're told that you might experience déjà vu in a particular situation, does this make it more likely to occur? These studies help distinguish between genuine déjà vu and similar experiences that might be influenced by social or psychological factors. The relationship between déjà vu and various mental health conditions continues to be explored. While most déjà vu is harmless, and normal, frequent, or intense experiences can sometimes be associated with anxiety disorders, dissociative conditions, or other psychological issues. Understanding these relationships helps clinicians distinguish between normal and potentially problematic experiences. The therapeutic applications of déjà vu research are expanding beyond treating the phenomenon itself. Understanding how memory systems can create compelling illusions has implications for various forms of psychotherapy, particularly approaches that work with memory, trauma, and subjective experience. Therapists can help clients understand that subjective experiences, however compelling, don't always accurately reflect external reality. Educational applications of déjà vu research are also emerging. Teaching students about phenomena like déjà vu can help them develop better metacognitive skills, the ability to monitor and evaluate their own thinking processes. This metacognitive awareness is crucial for effective learning and critical thinking. The study of déjà vu also contributes to broader discussions about the nature of scientific knowledge and the relationship between subjective experience and objective reality. The phenomenon demonstrates that rigorous scientific study can illuminate even the most subjective and ephemeral aspects of human experience, while also showing that subjective experience remains irreducibly important for understanding consciousness. As research techniques continue to advance, we can expect even more detailed understanding of the neural mechanisms underlying déjà vu. Real-time brain imaging is becoming increasingly sophisticated, potentially allowing researchers to observe déjà vu experiences as they unfold with unprecedented temporal and spatial resolution. The development of more sophisticated computational models will also enhance our understanding. These models can simulate the complex neural networks involved in memory and recognition, helping researchers test theories about how déjà vu occurs and predicting conditions that might make it more or less likely. Genetic and molecular studies are beginning to identify specific biological factors that influence déjà vu susceptibility. As these studies progress, we may develop a more complete picture of how genetic variations, environmental factors, and neural development interact to determine individual differences in déjà vu experience. The intersection of déjà vu research with broader studies of consciousness and subjective experience promises to yield particularly interesting insights. Déjà vu represents a rare example of a purely subjective phenomenon that can nonetheless be studied objectively, making it valuable for understanding the neural bases of consciousness more generally. Looking toward the future, déjà vu research may contribute to the development of new therapeutic approaches for various memory and recognition disorders. Understanding how recognition systems can malfunction might lead to better treatments for conditions involving false memories, recognition problems, or other memory-related difficulties. The phenomenon also raises intriguing possibilities for enhancing normal memory function. If we can understand what causes the neural timing errors that create déjà vu, we might be able to develop techniques for optimizing memory processing and reducing unwanted memory errors more generally. As we near the end of our exploration of this fascinating phenomenon, it's worth reflecting on what déjà vu teaches us about the nature of human experience. The fact that such a complex, meaningful feeling experience can arise from relatively simple neural timing errors or pathway disruptions reveals both the sophistication and the fragility of consciousness. Your brain accomplishes the remarkable feat of creating a continuous, coherent sense of experience from the constant flow of sensory information, memory retrieval, and cognitive processing. Most of the time, this process works seamlessly, creating the illusion that consciousness is simple and unified. Déjà vu offers a brief glimpse behind this illusion, revealing the complex neural choreography that underlies even the most basic aspects of subjective experience. The research journey into déjà vu also demonstrates the power of scientific inquiry to illuminate the mysteries of human experience. What was once purely the domain of philosophy and speculation has become accessible to rigorous, experimental investigation. Yet this scientific understanding enhances, rather than diminishes, the wonder of the phenomenon, revealing layers of complexity and beauty that weren't apparent from subjective experience alone. In many ways, déjà vu serves as a metaphor for the broader scientific enterprise of understanding consciousness. Like déjà vu itself, consciousness feels familiar and immediate, yet it emerges from neural processes of staggering complexity. The challenge of explaining how subjective experience arises from objective neural activity, the hard problem of consciousness, parallels the challenge of explaining how déjà vu creates such compelling illusions of recognition. The study of déjà vu reminds us that consciousness is not a thing but a process, an ongoing construction of experience from the raw materials of neural activity. This process is usually so successful that we take it for granted, noticing it only when something goes slightly wrong, as in déjà vu, or when we deliberately turn our attention to examining our own mental processes. Perhaps most importantly, déjà vu research illustrates the value of taking subjective experience seriously while maintaining scientific rigor. The phenomenon matters precisely because it feels meaningful to the people who experience it, not despite the fact that it's just a neural timing error. Understanding the mechanisms doesn't eliminate the mystery. It relocates it to an even deeper level, raising new questions about how neural activity gives rise to the rich inner world of human experience. As you drift toward sleep tonight, you might find yourself reflecting on the extraordinary nature of your own consciousness. Every moment of awareness represents the successful coordination of billions of neurons, creating the seamless flow of experience that defines your subjective life. The occasional occurrence of déjà vu offers a gentle reminder of this hidden complexity, a momentary glimpse into the remarkable neural symphony that creates your sense of self and world. In those quiet moments before sleep fully takes hold, when your conscious mind begins to relax its careful monitoring of experience, you might notice the subtle shifts in perception and memory that occur at the boundary between waking and sleeping. These transitions offer their own insights into the constructed nature of consciousness. As the brain's attention systems gradually relinquish control and allow more fluid, dreamlike processes to emerge, the study of déjà vu continues to evolve, with new discoveries regularly adding to our understanding of this fascinating phenomenon. Each advance in neuroscience technology, each new theoretical framework, and each carefully designed experiment contributes to a growing picture of how the brain creates the rich tapestry of human experience. Yet, for all our scientific progress, the subjective experience of déjà vu retains its essential mystery. The feeling of impossible recognition, the sense that time has folded back on itself, the compelling certainty that you've lived this moment before, these aspects of the experience remain as vivid and meaningful as ever, even as we understand more about their neural origins. This persistence of subjective meaning alongside scientific understanding reflects something important about the human condition. We are beings capable of both experiencing and studying our own consciousness, of being both subject and object in the investigation of mind. Déjà vu exemplifies this unique position, a phenomenon that can only be understood by combining rigorous objective study with careful attention to subjective experience. As research continues to unveil the mechanisms of déjà vu, we can expect new insights not just into this particular phenomenon, but into the broader questions of how neural activity creates conscious experience. These insights will likely have practical applications for treating memory disorders, enhancing learning and education, and developing more sophisticated artificial intelligence systems. But perhaps most importantly, this research will continue to deepen our appreciation for the remarkable nature of human consciousness itself. In understanding déjà vu, we understand something fundamental about what it means to be a conscious being in a world that we can both experience and comprehend. The gentle mystery of déjà vu, with its fleeting glimpses into the hidden workings of memory and consciousness, serves as a perfect companion for drifting off to sleep. Like the phenomenon itself, the transition into sleep involves a gradual relaxation of the monitoring systems that maintain our normal waking consciousness, allowing for the emergence of different states of awareness and experience. As your conscious mind settles into the rhythm of approaching sleep, you might reflect on the beautiful complexity revealed by something as simple as a momentary feeling of false familiarity. In those few seconds of déjà vu, entire networks of neural activity spring into action: memory systems, monitoring systems, attention networks, and emotional processing regions, all working together to create a single, unified experience of mysterious recognition. This collaboration of neural systems continues even as you sleep, though in different patterns and rhythms. The same hippocampus that plays a role in déjà vu becomes crucial for consolidating the day's memories into long-term storage. The same temporal lobe regions that can create false familiarity during waking hours help process and integrate experiences during sleep. The relationship between consciousness and the brain, illuminated by phenomena like déjà vu, continues to unfold as one of the most fascinating frontiers of scientific inquiry. Each new discovery adds depth to our understanding, while opening up new questions and possibilities for exploration. In the quiet moments of falling asleep, surrounded by the gentle rhythm of your own breathing and the settling of your thoughts, you can appreciate the extraordinary gift of consciousness itself, the ability to experience, to remember, to wonder, and occasionally to feel that mysterious sense that somehow, in some impossible way, you've experienced this very moment before. The science of deja vu teaches us that even our strangest experiences emerge from the same neural processes that create all conscious experience. There is no separate realm of the mysterious, no special exception to the natural world, only the ongoing revelation of how much more intricate and beautiful that natural world is than we ever imagined. Sleep well, knowing that your mind continues its remarkable work even in dreams, weaving together memory, experience, and imagination in the endless creative process of consciousness. And perhaps in that liminal space between waking and sleeping, you'll catch a glimpse of the extraordinary neural symphony that makes all experience, familiar and strange, ordinary and miraculous, possible. The deeper mysteries of deja vu continue to unfold as we explore its connections to the fundamental nature of time itself. Our brains, after all, don't experience time the way clocks measure it. Neural time is elastic, subjective, constructed from the interplay of countless cellular rhythms and network oscillations. When you experience deja vu, you're witnessing a momentary disruption in this carefully orchestrated temporal architecture, a brief moment when your brain's internal timeline becomes confused, creating the impossible sensation that the present has somehow slipped into the past. This temporal confusion reveals something profound about how consciousness constructs our sense of continuous experience. Every moment of awareness requires your brain to coordinate information arriving at different times from different sources, visual signals that take different amounts of time to process, depending on their complexity, auditory information that unfolds sequentially, memories that must be retrieved and integrated with current perceptions. The fact that this usually creates a seamless, unified experience of now is itself a remarkable achievement. Consider how many individual neural events must be synchronized to create even a single moment of conscious awareness. Light enters your eyes and triggers cascades of electrical activity that spread through multiple visual processing areas. Sounds create vibrations that your auditory system transforms into meaningful patterns. Your body's position sensors provide continuous updates about your posture and movement. Meanwhile, memory systems retrieve relevant information from your past to help interpret current experience, while attention systems filter and focus on the most important elements. All of these processes operate on slightly different timescales, yet somehow your brain weaves them together into the unified tapestry of conscious experience. The occasional occurrence of deja vu might represent moments when this temporal integration process experiences minor synchronization errors, when signals that should arrive together become slightly mistimed, creating the strange sensation that current experience is echoing something from your past. The quantum mechanical nature of neural activity adds another layer of complexity to this temporal puzzle. At the most fundamental level, the electrical activity in your brain depends on the movement of ions across cellular membranes, processes that are governed by quantum mechanics. Some researchers have speculated that quantum effects might play a role in consciousness itself, though this remains highly controversial and speculative. Nevertheless, the quantum world offers interesting parallels to the deja vu experience. In quantum mechanics, particles can exist in superposition states, being in multiple conditions simultaneously until they're observed or measured. Perhaps consciousness sometimes experiences its own form of superposition, where a single moment can feel both familiar and novel, until some neural measurement process forces it to resolve into one state or the other. The relationship between déjà vu and what physicists call time dilation is also intriguing to contemplate. Einstein's theory of relativity showed us that time isn't absolute. It can stretch and compress depending on motion and gravity. While these effects are negligible in everyday experience, they remind us that time itself is more malleable than our intuitive experience suggests. Could there be analogous effects in the brain? Might intense emotions, altered states of consciousness, or unusual neural activity create their own forms of subjective time dilation? Many people report that time seems to slow down during emergencies or peak experiences. Perhaps déjà vu represents a different kind of temporal distortion, not a slowing of time, but a folding of it, where the present moment briefly touches the past in impossible ways. The study of déjà vu also connects to fascinating research on precognition and the brain's predictive capabilities. Your brain is constantly generating predictions about what you're likely to experience next, based on patterns learned from past experience. These predictions help you navigate the world efficiently, preparing you for likely events before they actually occur. Sometimes, these predictions can create their own form of temporal confusion. If your brain strongly predicts a particular experience, and then that experience actually occurs, the boundary between prediction and perception can become blurred. What feels like remembering might actually be recognizing the fulfillment of an unconscious prediction, a kind of déjà praedit, where the brain confuses anticipated future with remembered past. This predictive aspect of brain function helps explain why déjà vu often occurs in situations that have a dreamlike or surreal quality. Dreams are largely products of the brain's predictive systems, running without external input, creating narratives from memory fragments and emotional associations. When waking experience takes on a dreamlike quality, perhaps due to fatigue, stress, or unusual environmental factors, the boundary between prediction and perception might become more permeable, increasing the likelihood of déjà vu experiences. The role of sleep and circadian rhythms in déjà vu becomes even more fascinating when we consider how these biological cycles affect temporal processing. Your brain's internal clock, governed by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your hypothalamus, doesn't just regulate sleep and wakefulness. It also influences memory formation, attention, and many other cognitive processes. During certain phases of your circadian cycle, your brain might be more susceptible to the kinds of temporal processing errors that create déjà vu. The late afternoon and early evening, when many people report increased déjà vu frequency, correspond to natural dips in alertness and cognitive performance. During these periods, the careful coordination required for accurate temporal processing might become less reliable. The relationship between déjà vu and jet lag provides another interesting perspective on how circadian disruption affects temporal experience. When your internal biological clock becomes desynchronized with external time cues, many aspects of cognitive function can be affected. Some travelers report changes in déjà vu frequency during jet lag, possibly reflecting disruptions in the neural systems that normally maintain accurate temporal processing. Seasonal variations in déjà vu frequency have also been reported, though this research is still in early stages. The changing light patterns throughout the year affect circadian rhythms, sleep quality, and mood, all factors that might influence the likelihood of memory processing errors. Understanding these seasonal patterns could provide insights into the environmental and biological factors that contribute to deja vu. The social and cultural transmission of deja vu experiences deserves deeper exploration as well. While the basic phenomenon appears universal, the ways people interpret, remember, and share their deja vu experiences are shaped by cultural context. Some cultures emphasize the spiritual or supernatural aspects of the experience, while others focus on its psychological or neurological dimensions. These cultural differences in interpretation might actually influence the experience itself. If you've been taught to view deja vu as spiritually significant, you might pay more attention to these experiences, remember them more vividly, or interpret ambiguous recognition experiences as deja vu. Conversely, if you understand deja vu as a normal neurological phenomenon, you might be less likely to notice or remember mild episodes. The language we use to describe deja vu also shapes our understanding of it. The French term déjà vu has become internationally recognized, but it captures only one aspect of the broader family of recognition experiences. Other terms like déjà vécu, already experienced, déjà senti, already felt, or déjà visité, already visited, describe related but distinct phenomena that might have different neural mechanisms. Some languages have even more nuanced vocabularies for describing these experiences. Understanding these linguistic differences could help researchers identify subtypes of déjà vu that might be obscured when all recognition errors are grouped under a single term. The artistic and literary representations of déjà vu throughout history provide another fascinating lens through which to examine the phenomenon. Writers, poets, and artists have long been drawn to the mysterious quality of déjà vu, using it as a metaphor for memory, time, and the uncanny nature of consciousness itself. These artistic explorations, while not scientifically precise, often capture aspects of the déjà vu experience that scientific descriptions struggle to convey. The emotional resonance, the sense of profound significance, the feeling of touching something beyond ordinary experience. These subjective dimensions remain important for understanding why déjà vu feels so meaningful to those who experience it. Modern virtual and augmented reality technologies are opening new possibilities for both studying and experiencing déjà vu. Researchers can now create controlled environments where specific aspects of recognition and familiarity can be manipulated with unprecedented precision. These synthetic environments might help trigger déjà vu experiences in laboratory settings, allowing for detailed study of the phenomenon as it occurs. Virtual reality also offers possibilities for therapeutic applications. For people who experience distressing or frequent déjà vu, virtual environments might provide safe spaces to explore and understand their experiences. By gradually exposing people to situations that trigger déjà vu while monitoring their neural responses, researchers might develop new treatment approaches. The potential for virtual reality to create entirely new forms of recognition experience is also intriguing. As these technologies become more sophisticated and immersive, they might produce novel forms of memory confusion that don't exist in natural environments. Studying these artificial recognition phenomena could provide insights into the natural mechanisms underlying déjà vu. The intersection of déjà vu research with studies of artificial intelligence and machine learning continues to yield interesting parallels. As AI systems become more sophisticated at pattern recognition and memory processing, they occasionally develop their own forms of recognition errors that bear striking similarities to human déjà vu. These artificial recognition systems can be studied and modified in ways that biological systems cannot, providing unique opportunities to test theories about déjà vu mechanisms. By creating computer models that experience their own forms of false familiarity, Researchers can explore how different architectural features and processing parameters affect the likelihood of recognition errors. The development of AI systems that can experience something analogous to deja vu also raises fascinating philosophical questions about machine consciousness and subjective experience. If an artificial system reports feeling that it has encountered a situation before when it hasn't, is this merely a computational error? Or could it represent a form of artificial subjective experience? The study of memory consolidation during sleep provides another rich area for understanding deja vu. During sleep, your brain doesn't simply rest. It actively processes and reorganizes the day's experiences, strengthening important memories while allowing less significant ones to fade. This consolidation process involves complex interactions between different brain regions and can be disrupted by various factors. Poor sleep quality or insufficient sleep might leave memory systems in a less stable state, potentially making them more prone to the kinds of errors that create deja vu. Understanding these relationships could lead to practical recommendations for reducing unwanted deja vu experiences, such as maintaining good sleep hygiene or managing stress levels. The role of dreams in memory processing also connects to deja vu research. Dreams often involve impossible combinations of familiar elements, people, places, and situations from your past, recombined in novel ways. This dreamlike quality of mixing familiar and unfamiliar elements might share neural mechanisms with deja vu, where familiar feelings become inappropriately attached to novel situations. Some people report that their dreams sometimes feel like memories of real experiences, while others describe waking experiences that feel dreamlike and unreal. These boundary confusions between different states of consciousness might reflect the same kinds of memory processing vulnerabilities that contribute to deja vu. The therapeutic applications of deja vu research continue to expand beyond simply treating the phenomenon itself. Understanding how memory systems can create compelling illusions has implications for treating post-traumatic stress disorder, where traumatic memories can intrude into present experience in ways that share some similarities with deja vu. The research also informs treatment approaches for dissociative disorders, where people sometimes feel disconnected from their own experiences or feel that familiar situations seem strange and unreal. These conditions involve disruptions in the same neural systems that create normal feelings of familiarity and recognition. Cognitive behavioral therapy techniques can be enhanced by understanding how subjective experiences of familiarity and recognition are constructed by the brain, helping patients recognize that compelling subjective experiences don't always correspond to external reality can be valuable for treating various anxiety and mood disorders. The educational implications of deja vu research are particularly relevant for understanding how people learn and remember information. The phenomenon demonstrates that feelings of familiarity and recognition can be unreliable guides to actual knowledge or understanding. Students might sometimes feel that they understand material better than they actually do, based on false feelings of familiarity. Teaching students about phenomena like deja vu can help them develop more accurate self-assessment skills, learning to distinguish between genuine understanding and mere familiarity. This metacognitive awareness is crucial for effective learning and academic success. The research also has implications for eyewitness testimony and legal contexts where accurate memory is crucial. If memory systems can create compelling illusions of recognition where none should exist, they can certainly distort or embellish real memories in more subtle ways. Understanding these vulnerabilities helps legal professionals evaluate the reliability of memory-based evidence. As neuroscience technology continues to advance, new possibilities emerge for both studying and potentially modifying déjà vu experiences. Transcranial magnetic stimulation and other non-invasive brain stimulation techniques can temporarily alter activity in specific brain regions, potentially allowing researchers to increase or decrease the likelihood of déjà vu. These techniques might eventually lead to therapeutic interventions for people who experience problematic déjà vu. By temporarily modulating activity in brain regions associated with memory processing or familiarity detection, clinicians might be able to reduce the frequency or intensity of unwanted déjà vu experiences. The development of more sophisticated brain imaging techniques continues to reveal new details about the neural networks involved in déjà vu. High-resolution functional MRI can now observe activity in individual brain structures with unprecedented detail, while new analysis techniques can identify subtle patterns of connectivity between different regions. These technological advances are revealing that déjà vu involves more complex neural networks than previously realized. Rather than being localized to specific brain regions, the phenomenon appears to involve widespread interactions between memory, attention, decision-making, and emotional processing systems. The genetic aspects of déjà vu susceptibility are beginning to be understood through large-scale genomic studies. Twin studies suggest that there are heritable factors that influence how frequently people experience déjà vu, though environmental factors clearly play important roles as well. Identifying specific genes associated with déjà vu frequency could provide insights into the biological mechanisms underlying the phenomenon. These genetic factors might affect the development or function of neural circuits involved in memory processing, making some people more prone to the kinds of recognition errors that create déjà vu. The relationship between déjà vu and various psychiatric and neurological conditions continues to be explored. While most déjà vu is harmless and normal, changes in déjà vu frequency or intensity can sometimes signal underlying medical conditions. Understanding these relationships helps clinicians distinguish between normal variations in experience and potentially concerning changes. The phenomenon also provides a unique window into how various medications and treatments affect memory and consciousness. Drugs that alter neurotransmitter function in the brain can influence déjà vu frequency, providing insights into the neurochemical basis of the experience. As our understanding of déjà vu deepens, the phenomenon serves as an increasingly powerful tool for investigating the nature of consciousness itself. The experience represents a rare example of a purely subjective phenomenon that can nonetheless be studied objectively, making it valuable for bridging the gap between first-person experience and third-person scientific investigation. The research demonstrates that even our most mysterious and subjective experiences emerge from natural processes that can be understood scientifically. This doesn't diminish the wonder of these experiences. If anything, it enhances it by revealing the extraordinary complexity and beauty of the neural processes that create consciousness. In the quiet moments before sleep fully arrives, as your conscious awareness begins its nightly transition into dreams, you might reflect on the remarkable nature of the experience you call you. Every thought, every memory, every sensation emerges from the intricate dance of billions of neurons, each one contributing to the unified symphony of consciousness. Déjà vu, in all its mysterious familiarity, represents just one note in this vast neural orchestra. A brief moment when the music of consciousness creates an unexpected harmony, a chord that shouldn't exist but somehow does, resonating through your awareness with impossible recognition. As you settle into sleep, your brain will continue its extraordinary work, consolidating memories, processing emotions, and weaving the experiences of the day into the ongoing narrative of your life. The same neural systems that occasionally create the illusion of deja vu will work through the night to strengthen genuine memories, to integrate new learning with existing knowledge, and to prepare your mind for another day of conscious experience. And perhaps, in the liminal space between waking and sleeping, in the gentle transition from conscious awareness to the different consciousness of dreams, you'll touch something of the profound mystery that deja vu represents. The extraordinary fact that neural activity can give rise to subjective experience at all, that matter can become conscious of itself, that the universe can experience its own existence through the remarkable phenomenon of human awareness. The story of deja vu is ultimately the story of consciousness itself, the ongoing mystery of how physical processes in the brain give rise to the rich inner world of subjective experience. As you drift into sleep, you're participating in one of the universe's most remarkable experiments, the emergence of awareness from the intricate choreography of neural activity, creating the impossible reality of conscious experience in a cosmos that began as nothing more than elementary particles and energy. Sleep peacefully, knowing that your mind embodies one of the deepest mysteries of existence, the transformation of matter into consciousness, of neural firing patterns into the experience of being alive, aware, and occasionally, mysteriously familiar with moments that seem to echo from an impossible past. In your dreams tonight, your brain will continue exploring the endless possibilities of consciousness, creating new experiences from the vast library of memory and imagination, weaving together the familiar and the novel in the eternal dance of awareness that makes you uniquely, remarkably you.